Hey everybody, today we'll do another quick problem, and we'll we will go through the 6 trigonometric function in one example, right? So we say last time that we say that sine of theta, right? So sine of theta equal to opposite over the hypotenuse, right? And we say cosine of theta, cosine. So we say cosine of theta equal to what? Is equal to adjacent side over hypotenuse, right? So, and then we got tangent of theta equal to opposite over adjacent, right? Opposite over adjacent, right? So opposite over adjacent. Now having these functions, these three functions, we need to do the rest of the functions, right? So we have secant, we have a cosecant, secant, and cotangent, right? So we have cosecant equal to, then it's going to be the reverse of the sine. So whatever was at the top, got to come to the bottom. So it's going to be what? It's going to be hypotenuse over what? Over opposite. That is, if you think about it, this is belong to the which function has opposite over the hypotenuse? It's cosine, right? I'm sorry, sine. So sine, this is belong to sine, right? And then let's do the next one. Let's do secant of theta equal to hypotenuse over what? Over adjacent. And which function had the adjacent, right? Is equal to adjacent of the angle theta is equal to what? Cosine, right? So therefore, the next one is cotangent, right? So cotangent of theta, cotangent of theta equal to what? Remember, tangent was opposite over adjacent. So this is going to be adjacent over opposite, right? So adjacent over opposite, right? So those are the 6 trigonometric functions. So now let's go through real quick 2 more functions or identities. I will say identities. 2 more identities. They are called fundamental identities, right? Fundamental identities, right? So the fundamental identities are divided into two categories. One of them is called the reciprocal identities, and the other one is called the quotient identities, right? Reciprocal identities are the following. So let me just change the color. Change the color and say reciprocal reciprocal identities, right? Reciprocal identities. So the reciprocal identities are as follow. You have what is called what? You have what is called three functions that are reciprocal. One is the cosecant. Cosecant of theta is equal to 1 over sine of theta, right? Okay, so that's 1, right? So then we can say secant of theta is equal to what? Is equal to what? Is equal to 1 over cosine of theta, right? And then we have the last one that should be what? It should be cotangent of theta. Cotangent of theta. Let me just redo that. Doesn't look too good. Okay, so let me do cotangent of theta is equal to what? 1 over tangent of theta, right? Okay, so we have that. Then we will do the next identity that is called quotient identities. Let me just identities, right? Okay, so we got that, right? Now, quotient identities, and let me come on here and do the quotient identities are two functions, and one of them is tangent of theta equal to sine of theta over cosine of theta, right? And then we have what? We have cotangent of theta equal to cosine of theta over sine of theta, right? So these are the quotient identities. Why? Because you have one function divided by another function, right? So that's the whole purpose of those, right? So let's do a quick example. On this. Okay. So the example read as follows. And today I will write it down. Eventually, in the next examples, probably I will not write it down, right? Each example like this, because it takes little too much to do it. I mean, it takes longer if you guys know what I mean, right? Okay, so let's do it. So it says finding. Let me just finding the value of the value of the remaining of the remaining function of the remaining of the remaining trigonometric functions, right? Of the remaining trigonometric functions, all right, given what? Given sine of data and cosine of data, right? In other words, we will find the remaining functions, right? And how many we have altogether? We should have 6, right? So we should have 6. We should have 6 functions. So we have 1, 2, 3, right? 4, 5, and 6, right? So, okay, so let's write a problem, right? And the values that they give us, and they okay, so they give us that sine of data is equal to oops, is equal to radical 5. Oops. Is equal to radical 5 over 5. Cosine of data is equal to 2 radical 5 over 5, right? So those are the values, right? So now, based on those two values, we need to find the rest of the functions, right? So first one is going to be the next one that follow after this is tangent, right? So we have to find tangent data. And we say that tangent of data is equal to what? It's equal to opposite with or it's equal to sine over cosine, right? Okay, so here, if we apply those numbers in there, right? So we have what? We have 5. We have 5 we have, okay, what is going on with this? Okay. Okay, so we have here, we have what? We have radical 5 over 5, right? Divided by 2, radical 5 over 5, right? And let me just rewrite that because that doesn't look too good, right? So, right? So, okay, so now look at this. When I did that, right, I can flip, right? I can flip the denominator, right? I gotta flip the denominator, right? Because I am dividing, so I gotta flip and multiply. So 5, radical 5 over 5 times, now it's times, right? Times 5 over 2 radical 5. See that? Now these radicals, right? Because technically I am multiplying those. Let me just, it's going to be kind of hard to do it, but I will try to do it. So right there, I am multiplying that, right? So I'm multiplying that by what? By 2. And you can see that this cancels out with this, and this cancels out with that. So this cancels with that 5, right? And I hope you get this. Let me just, so that cancels out right there. And that cancels out with that 5, right? And this radical 5 cancels with that one. And this radical 5 cancels with that one. So the answer for this is tangent of theta, right? So here is 1. Making sure you understand that. That is 1. That's 1. That's 1, right? Which is equal to what? This is equal to 1/2, right? So okay, so tangent of theta is equal to 1/2. We found the first function. We will have to do the next one, which is going to be cosecant, right? So we do cosecant, and we know that cosecant let me just write it, just the abbreviation as we do. Cosecant of theta, right? Cosecant of theta equal to 1 over what? Over sine of theta, right? All right, in this case, sine of theta is 5 radical 5 over 5, right? So cosecant of theta is going to be equal to what? It's going to be 1 over radical 5 over 5, which is equal to what? It's equal to 1 times 5 over, remember, I am flipping and multiplying, right? Invert to multiply, that's what I'm doing. So over radical 5, which is technically, this is what? This is 5 radical 5. And I'm sorry about this, right? For that extra line in there. So let me just okay, so the teachers, they don't like to have those numbers like that, right? Some of them. So let's get rid of that radical, right? So we have 5 radical 5, and then we multiply. So we get rid of that radical by multiplying top and bottom by radical 5, right? All right. So when I multiply the two radicals, the radical goes away, right? You saying, okay, radical. So radical 5 times radical 5, multiply the radicals, right? And take the square root of it, right? 5 times 5 is 25. The square root of 25 is 5, right? Top is going to stay the same. So I'm sorry about that. So top is going to stay the same. So the top is going to just multiply that, right? So multiply the radical, so we don't have no problem there, right? So over 5. And cancel those 5s out, and you got that the answer for that is radical 5, right? So cosecant of data equal to radical 5. Okay, so we have the second one. We need to find 2 more, right? And those 2 are what? Those 2 are the next one. So we have the cosecant. Now we got to do secant, right? So secant of data is equal to, we say that is equal to what? Equal to secant of data is equal to 1 over cosine of data, right? So let's make that clear, right? We're doing this clear. Okay, so secant of data is equal to cosine over, 1 over cosine, right? And so we know that the value of cosine is 2 radical 2 over 5, right? 2 radical 2 over 5. So we do secant of data is equal to 1 over 2 radical 5 over 5, which is equal to 1, right? Flip and multiply, right? 1, right? So I got 5 over 2 rad 5, right? So now think about it. Now I have to get rid again of that radical. So we say that secant of data is equal to what? Is equal to 1. All right, so I have to say that 5, right? 5. And I got to multiply that by 2. Let me just put a 2 here so you understand what is going on. So I got a 2, and I got to put right 5 here. Times times what? Times radical 5, right? So you know what? Let me just go to the next page. I am not really. Let me just go to the next page because this is getting in the bottom of this page. So we have what? We have 5, 2, rad 5, right? And we need to get rid of this one, right? So what we do is multiply by radical 5, top and bottom. Okay. So now when I do, remember, when I multiply this, I am multiplying this, right? So let me put parentheses around here. So I am multiplying this too, right? So what I'm doing is basically saying, okay, so 5 times 5 is 25. Square root of 5. The square root of 25 is 5. Okay. So that, and then times the 2, right? And the top stay the same. So that will be 5 radical 5, right? Multiply those like that, right? Okay. The bottom here, I will have a 2 times 5, right? You can do two things here. See, this is multiplying, and that is a factor of that. So, okay, so this is is in a factor form already, right? So all you have to do here is cancel this 5 and 5, right? And the answer for this is nothing but radical 5 over 2. So we have that secant of data equal to what? Equal to radical 5 over 2. Okay, it doesn't look like a good box, but I guess it's good for the answer. That's what I can say. It doesn't look. I mean, I can try to do a better one. Okay. Oops. See, I went too far. I went way too far. So, okay, let's try again. Okay, that's better. Okay. So secant of data is equal to 5 radical 5, correct? Now let's do cotangent of data, which is the last one. Okay, so cotangent of data, right? Remember that cotangent of data, cotangent of data cotangent of data cotangent of data equal to 1 over tangent of data, right? We can do it this way, or you can do that cotangent of data is equal to sine over cosine over sine, and you will find the same answer. Remember that cotangent of data is equal to cosine over sine. Okay, so you can do it either way, but seeing we have the value of tangent already, which is 1/2, right? Why not use that, right? So cotangent of data equal to 1 over 1/2, right? Because that's why we found, right? Yes, tangent of data is 1/2. So we put 1/2, right? Cotangent of data is equal to 1 over 1/2, which is what? 1 times. I flip that, and we say that it's the same as 2 over 1, which is equal to 2, right? So we can say that cotangent of data equal to 2. So, okay, so let me just undo that. Undo this. Yeah, okay. So let me complete that box right there. Okay, so we found the remaining 4 functions, right? So that's it, guys. That's it. I hope you learned something this video. If you learned something, give me a like, subscribe, right, and comment. And remember that we learn something every day because Jesus is good. And that's it, because the grace of Jesus is with us, right? Therefore, he deserved all the honor and glory, right? Jesus Christ. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.